Welcome Junior Tuckies, my name is Mrs. Ramlal. This video is on skills. This is a theory video on how to draw graphs. Right, when you draw a graph, you always make sure that you draw your axis, your x and your y axis, and at the axis you always put a 0. That's the most important thing one must put. Then, you must also make sure that your scale points are very clear and are the equal distance. The number you select for your scale number, make sure that you always go up in multiples of that number. So here I've chosen 10 and I'm going up in multiples of 10. Please remember that on your y-axis, that is where you have your dependent variable, and we know that is the variable that you measure. You must have the heading and the unit here for this variable. On your x-axis, that is where your independent variable goes. And then again here, you must have your heading and your unit. Now, your graph heading must have both variables in your heading. Just remember that this is just the basics. Right, let's move to a specific graph. This is a histogram. And with a histogram, as you can see, there's your scale points clear. There's your 0 at origin. There's your dependent variable, your independent variable, and there's your graph heading. But a histogram is very different. There is no spaces between the bars. It's like a Kit Kat. And can you see that the bars are the same width? So this is how you draw a histogram. A line graph, again, you can see there's your origin, your 0 at the origin. There's your scale numbers, very correct, goes up in 2000. And here on the x-axis, it goes up in multiples of 2. There's your heading and unit, there's your graph heading. And then very important for a line graph, your plotting points must be accurate, must be in line with the number on the scale. Now, when you join your plotting points, always make sure you use a ruler. That's how you draw a line graph. Now, let's move on to a pie chart. In this pie chart, I want you to draw the different elements of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in a carbohydrate. First thing you do is you get your numbers. You're not given percentage in degrees. You have to take the total of the different elements that make up the carbohydrate, and here's my total, which is 4. So there's 1 portion of carbon in the carbohydrate, 2 portions of hydrogen, and 1 portion of oxygen. So how do you work percentage? You take 1 over 4 and you multiply it by 100. That gives you 25%. For hydrogen, you take 2 over 4, multiply by 100. We know that's going to give us 50%. And we already know that the oxygen is the same as the carbon, 25%. Yes, you do get 100%. Now, to convert to 360 degrees, which you remember we have to convert to 360 because the circle has 360 degrees. I just use 3,6. 3,6 is the same as 360 divided by 100. So you take the percent and you multiply by 3,6. Your answer is 90 degrees. 50 times 3,6, you get 180 degrees. And of course, 25% is the same as 90. And then you get 360 degrees. Always make sure you have 360 degrees. And then you are ready now to plot your pie chart. There's your heading here with the 2 variables. There's your pie chart. No percentages written in it. It's just in color. And then you could, if you wanted to, use a key. And then your key would tell me what C stands for, which is carbon, and then H will be hydrogen, and so forth. It is more accurate to draw a graph using a key. Right. And the last type of graph is a bar graph. Bar graph, again, very simple. Your axis, your scale points, your 0, your heading units, and with the bar graph, make sure that it's always space, bar, space. The spaces between the bars must be the same width, and the bars must be the same width as well. There's your heading, has both the variables in your bar graph. Right, watch my exam question videos and then learn to do skills as well to reinforce this very important skill from grade 10 to grade 12. Thank you for joining me and watching my videos. Join me and watch all my other videos as well.